to the Do It All Dad Year podcast, dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. I'm your host, Michael Kornbluth, and this is episode 28. Grandparent separation isn't old for me yet. Trump is Hitler. In what? Inglourious Bastards 2? No, in real life. Make Nazi Germany great again wasn't his campaign slogan, dude. Inspector General Michael Horowitz is a bigger letdown than ecstasy wearing off being weedless. I was predicting his face being on $500 bills, for Christ's sake. Horowitz is so not money, and we all know it. Memo to Laura Bush. Crack a book open on PTSD. Your heart should break from the vet's W mutilated for profit, who exploited post 9/11 fear for all it's worth. 9/11 happened on your husband's watch, correct? Just checking. Friendly reminder, Kathy Griffin gunned for Joan Rivers' job after she fell into a coma after her botched surgery, which was after she had told TMZ that Michelle Obama was a she-he. Also, Kathy Griffin's half-ass approach to thinking she could just wing comedy and not write jokes at all killed fashion police forever. Plus, these days, trans Chucky looks like a skinned baby Clifford. No offense. What happened, Hillary? You failed to sell America on why baby boomer mom knows best. And Peter Fonda is mad as hell about being a burnout has-been. An Easy Rider can't handle it anymore, man. Question for Tommy Lee's son on the Do It All Dad Year podcast. Did Tommy Lee blow up your baseball games because you whiffed more than Charlie Sheen at an AVN after-hours party these days? My daughter fat-shaming me. Daddy, I've got a 4-pack. You've got a 0-pack. Enough with Hillary's emails, people. Out of the 30,000 emails gently deleted by Hillary Hammertime Cankle's goons under subpoena, half of those emails were yoga-related, whereas the rest detailed funeral arrangements in the woods in case Chelsea's fiancé increases asking price at the last sec. Feminists want to ban Father's Day because do-it-all dads don't go out of their way to do them 8 days a week. So, I'm at the library last week having a very friendly conversation. Old librarian. It's my old hood. And she's agreeing with what I'm saying, with my points, but she's beginning to realize that a lot of my points are very pro-Trump. So I totally disarmed her. And out of nowhere, she goes, wait a minute, you're a Trump supporter? And I said, John Oliver isn't smarter than Trump. Sorry, babe. Plus, you do know in London, Sharia law is won without much of a fight. Worst Father's Day text ever. Enjoy your Father's Day, Scoops. Love, Mom. Despite my lackluster salute in your honor, would you call your dad first after this overlooked hallmark gem? A son's love is penetrable to the core. That came out all wrong. Is my last name Podesta over here? Transgender. Father's Day headlines on my Twitter feed make me want to break my Chick-fil-A strike. Either you're a loving present dad or you're not, nipple tits. Stop being so anal about it. Getting shafted shouldn't be such a shock to your system anymore either. Kawhi Leonard requested a trade out of the San Antonio. He can play the second lead on the Lakers with LeBron. Plus, he can create mumblecore movie magic with the Duplass brothers. Blank, expressionless, long shots is his forte. Why would Anthony Bourdain kill himself? Since taking up MMA, more specifically jiu-jitsu, after Bourdain took up jiu-jitsu, he made Iggy Pop look like the bloated lost one, who hasn't had a hit since David Bowie gave a shit. My resistance on Father's Day. Don't call your dad on the car speaker, babe. Your mom's voice will ruin everything. Chris Matthews sexually harassing his new intern over lunch at MSNBC. Eating at Maddow counts as your lunch break, babe. Judd Apatow, the tallest showrunner for Never Hysterical Modern Family, and holier than now, Seth MacFarlane, are embarrassed to work indirectly for Fox News. And CNN and MSNBC make up the Justice League. My husband is the least sexy, unasked for admission on the planet. After I only watch the Super Bowl for the commercials. I love Trump's relentless optimism. If he was diagnosed with AIDS today, he'd go on Hannity later this evening and say, Sean, do I have AIDS? Yes, but my T-cell count numbers have never been stronger. Pope Francis is right. Populists are creating a psychosis about immigration. Lately, master race Germans are becoming predictably picky about it. Wife says, baby Samuel has separation anxiety around my mother. I say, your mom's insistent on using her stupid foreign Ukrainian accent on the kid isn't doing her any favors. If Coco, from the movie Pixar, if Coco was separated from his family, he never would have become a mini Los Lobos in the making. When you hug your dad at 42 years old, who you never see, who's also the lucky recipient of 3 gorgeous, healthy, hilarious grandchildren, when you go to hug that dad who you never see, and his shoulders collapse during mid-hug, he's not suffering from separation anxiety. Inspector General Michael Horowitz, IG report that just came out, was definitely a bigger letdown than ecstasy wearing off being weedless. I was predicting Michael Horowitz's face being on $500 bills, for Christ's sake. Michael Horowitz is so not money, and we all know it. Memo to Laura Bush. Crack a book open on PTSD. Your heart should break from the vets W mutilated for profit, who exploited post 9/11 fear for all it's worth. 9/11 happened on your husband's watch, correct? Just checking, Laura. Trump is Hitler. And what? Inglourious Bastards 2? No, in real life. Make Nazi Germany great again wasn't his campaign slogan, dude. Friendly reminder, Kathy Griffin, the esteemed Kathy Griffin, who gunned for Joan Rivers' job when she fell into a coma after her botched throat surgery, which was after she told TMZ that everyone in Hollywood knew Michelle Obama was a she-he. Very soon after, Kathy Griffin's major legacy in this world is deciding to apply her half-ass approach to not writing jokes, thinking she could wing it, and ruining Fashion Police forever. And actually making Kelly Osbourne the likable, less entitled twat in the process. Plus, these days, Trans Chucky, still talking about Kathy Griffin, plus these days, Trans Chucky looks like a skinned baby Clifford. No offense. What happened, Hillary? You failed to sell America on why baby boomer mom knows best. And Peter Fonda is mad as hell about being a burnout has-been, an easy rider, can't handle it anymore, man. Question for Tommy Lee's son on the Do It All Dad Year podcast. Did Tommy Lee blow up your baseball games because you whiffed more than Charlie Sheen at an AVN after-hours party these days? My daughter fat-shaming me. Daddy, I've got a 4-pack. You've got a 0-pack. All addiction stems from lack of friends and low self-esteem, in addition to a propensity to shit on yourself constantly, especially when you make some progress and actually lose 3 pounds in a week. God forbid we keep that up. So, what are we talking about here, folks? What is the title of this podcast? For those of you just chiming in, grandparent separation isn't old for me yet. That's funny for me. I don't know if it's funny for you, but you know, my kids, my daughter, she's gonna be done first grade by tomorrow, and then next week camp starts. Originally, she was going to be going to Delaware for what we call Baba Camp, It's not very organized, but it's a time where my in-laws are able to act like involved, loving grandparents and do what they can to help. So that's nice. But what bummed me out, I mean, not entirely. I mean, it was still upsetting. Is that recently I'm at the dinner table and I'm talking about Baba Camp, and I said, "Hey Matilda, you know what this weekend is?" And she goes, "What, Daddy?" I said, "Baba Camp." And you would think that I told her that I was sending her to migrant camp instead, which reminds me, my daughter the other day, she asked me, she goes, "Daddy, what's migrant camp?" And I said, "What's migrant camp?" Migrant camp is a no-go zone for nice Jewish girls, and color war never ends. And you're only allowed to eat halal honeycombs for breakfast. So she was not doing cartwheels at the prospect of going to Delaware for Baba Camp, which definitely means that she's definitely my daughter and shares my blood, because I don't necessarily want to drive 4 or 5 hours to go to Delaware much these days, especially since they adopted this dog that they now have to put a muzzle on, or else it noshes off the feet of my newborn son, who's now a year and 4 months. So I mean, it's just a bad look. And yeah, they named the kid. What did they name the kid? The dog. They named the dog Heidi. Yeah, Heidi. So Heidi. The definitely doesn't put my paranoid Jewish concerns to rest. Yeah, that's for damn sure. But I mean, it's a nice dog. It's not like super violent, but I just got like bummed out when I found out that like my in-laws were paying for daycare for the dog, but haven't shelled out a penny in our direction for any form of daycare, babysitting, educational empowering experience for the 3 grandkids. But the reason why I say grandparent separation isn't old for me yet is very simple. I don't like sharing my children when they're not appreciated to the up to great. Now, I'm not saying that grandparents on both sides don't appreciate or love their grandchildren. They do. But when it's all said and done, actions speak louder than words. And FaceTime on Facebook is a pathetic substitute for the real thing, which is why Facebook has many legacies that aren't great. And one of them is making baby boomers the laziest grandparent generation of all time. Not even up for debate. I mean, really. My parents are coming in a couple of weeks. Now, in the past, they basically chose to be imprisoned in AC Splendor and being burnt out in another indoor Arizona summer for not 1 but 3 summers in a row, versus coming back east where they have an apartment where they can spend more time with their grandchildren. So, and it reminds me of this one time where we're waiting for the bus, which is a beautiful moment. I wish every man in this world could have that experience with their children. It's a great slice of old school Americana. It's just wonderful. My daughter darting off to that bus, and she's very competitive. She's definitely alpha, and it's a beautiful thing. We have these black neighbors, and I love to see her basically not get left in the dust by them. Yeah, it's usually pretty much a dead heat, and my black neighbors are very gifted athletically. One time I had a football toss with them because my daughter was burnt out on it, and I figured they would be up for it. And this cannon on this kid just like freaking floored me. I mean, he had a bigger cannon than me, and I'm 6'4", 209, 2010, depending how much beer I drank the last night. And this kid was probably 65 pounds. Skinny as a rail. So, it is true. Black people are more genetically endowed, athletically, obviously. So, the bus thing was great. So, this is my point about the bus story. So, bus is coming. I said, you know what? my daughter was saying something really adorable and sweet. I said, you know what? Mimi, Papa, Grandma, Grandpa, they miss the best of you. So when I say grandparent separation isn't old for me yet, I say that from the perspective that, like, when you have children, you feel effrontery and offensiveness. You absorb it on a much deeper, more pronounced level than ever before. And when you have 3 kids, you feel it 3 times as much. And especially by number 3, you feel as if your 3rd child is getting sloppy 3rd treatment to the nth degree. You always got to hear about, oh, Matilda was my favorite, she's the firstborn, but I love all of them equally. It's all bullshit, folks. It's all complete bullshit. Especially when you know that those grandparents on both sides only had 2 kids, and then you have 3. So that gives you, this like moral edge over them, knowing that you've created more beautiful, loving life into this universe. Especially when we make a commitment to not raising spoiled slobs. So we are definitely headed in the right direction. I applied for a copywriter position this week. It's a company called Food 52. And they're, according to the James Beard Foundation, the #1 food website destination on the web. You could say that's bullshit, but they're definitely not targeting do-it-all dads. So I had put together a sample writing exercise called Grandma's Kind of Metal. Great title, right? Headline hookers are my forte. And then I gave a sample email where I used all these Ozzy Osbourne analogies, and I was talking about, because a part of the project was to pitch one of the products that they sell. So I was pitching the cast iron. And the cast iron is a beautiful thing. So why am I mentioning this? I'm talking to my audience as if I'm trying to justify my existence. Which is what any unemployed comedian / father of 3 feels compelled to do on a regular basis. But it's been a great joke writing week, as you guys have just heard. And again, stay tuned. Resist This, my overdue, long-awaited comedy record debut, will be on the near horizon. And I can't wait for that. And I want to thank all of my fans for continuing to download these podcasts. I put a lot of heart into them. And you are giving me more confidence than ever to shine and dream bigger, like my daughter instructed me to do last night. And I think this copywriter job, if it materializes, it would be great to get back into the big city in Manhattan, and I'd be able to, start developing my mojo on the stage again, and I'll be able to take the Metro North to the city and start writing some more food fiction, which is something I plan on doing. And I already got an idea involving a talking cast iron, so stay tuned for that, because I can't have a podcast and I got nothing to sell. I'm pretty tired of saying I'm so broke my Hebrew name is under judicial review. So this is a Do It All Dad Year podcast, dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. Working remote can make our kids great again. And I just want to give a post-Father's Day shout-out to all those do-it-all dads that are expected to do more than just get their wives pregnant every other 2 years, who are taking the job of caretaker, life coach, disciplinarian, very seriously, who have gone out of their way to will away to design a lifestyle that allows them to be the most impactful, loving, connective dad imaginable. Because when we're gone, that will be the gift that keeps on giving. I love you all who love the podcast, and I'll talk to you soon.